Hey friends, welcome back to Motivated with Meg. I'm so glad you're here for another mini but mighty episode in our exercise experiment season. Today, we're diving into something that comes up a lot when it comes to moving your body more mindfully, and that is, what do you do when you hit a setback or an injury of some sort, and how do you stay motivated without a fear mindset? This is something I've struggled with more than I care to admit over the years, especially when I first transitioned out of the rigid, pressure-filled fitness world and diet culture mentality. I had gotten very much used to the workouts that would have deadlines associated with them, like a 30-day shred or a 12-week tone of some sort. Everything came with a time frame, and the messaging was always don't stop, hustle harder, push through, and rest was only allowed usually like one day out of the week. So whenever I needed more rest because I was tired or I had a small injury, I'd often neglect that rest and myself, and I'd push through and do the workout instead. I'd rather risk the injury than push against the fear I had that if I don't do the workout today, I'll somehow lose all of my progress. But here's what I've learned. Setbacks are part of the process, and we don't really make progress pushing through injuries. Everyone, yes, everyone deals with setbacks. Maybe it's an injury, maybe it's a crazy work week, maybe you're just not feeling it mentally, or your cramps are really bad this month. It doesn't mean you've lost progress. It means you're human. We tend to put timelines on everything. And with that comes pressure. I talked about this a few episodes ago, how your workout doesn't need to be 60 minutes, but that was something I was taught a long time ago. It's not just the length of the workout, though. It's also the timelines that we're putting on the entire program, how long we're going to do something for, how we talk to ourselves about that, and how much time we give ourselves to hit a goal, depending on what that goal is. So whether it's trying to lose weight for a vacation, a birthday, or a wedding, since weight loss is often the focus when it comes to health goals instead of real true health, not that weight loss can't get you there, but it's not the main focus that needs to be on the table. Usually it's nutrition and exercise in a healthy way. But when we focus on a quick weight loss win for whatever reason, and when we get that win, right? So we have something, a deadline, a time on the calendar for a wedding or a birthday that we want to lose weight by, and so we do it. We hit our goal and we lose that weight by that time frame, right? Yay, us. High five. We got the W. That is exciting by all means. But usually what we chose to do wasn't sustainable. It was a quick fix. It was trying to get us the win in a quick manner because there was a deadline and a time frame. We had to get it by this specific date. So those quick fixes and ways of approaching weight loss usually are not sustainable. And then if we don't have anything consistent to fall back on, we often fall back on our old unhealthy habits. And that's not helpful. Now you got the weight loss you wanted, and then boom, you gain it right back right after the event. And so you might think, well, I just wanted it for the event, for those pictures, so who really cares? But I do want you to consider that we want to care because this is your health, right? And so it's not, we don't want to create the yo-yo effect of only caring about, 5 dates out of the entire year and trying to be skinny for those 5 dates, and the rest of the year we're just not going to take care of ourselves. The goal is to change that perspective and mindset to one of, I want to take care of myself all the time from a place of being gentle and not from perfection by any means. It's not that you're not going to go out and have fun and live your life and have sugar or have an alcoholic beverage or something. It's just, we're not trying to put everything when it comes to weight loss into a time frame of I have to do it by this specific date or else it's not worth it, right? Instead, we want to take weight loss off the table a little bit when it comes to our health and that conversation, but it's okay if it's on the table, if that's something that's your goal for an event. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to do that, but I do think it's important to do that in a mindful way that feels good for you and your body. And also to make sure you do have something to fall back on once you've hit the date of the event that you want to lose weight for. So that way you don't fall back into old unhealthy habits. Let's take a wedding into consideration, right? Most brides would want to lose weight before their wedding if they feel the need to. I'm not saying that most brides need to. I'm saying that our society has made it so most brides feel the need to think about weight loss around their wedding. Obviously, you're going to spend money and you're going to be in a beautiful dress and you're going to have a lot of pictures. So you want to look a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't judge yourself or shame yourself for wanting that, right? That's not the conversation we're having. But a wedding has a set date, and by that date, you might want to look or feel a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I just want to say that you're not marrying weight loss. You're marrying a person. You're not walking down the aisle to celebrate your body becoming a project. You're walking down the aisle to celebrate love. And if you don't hit that exact goal of whatever weight you wanted or look you wanted by the time of your wedding, the world won't end. You will still be loved. You will still be very much worthy. And so the opposite of all that pressure that we get from timelines like this of I need to, lose weight by this date. And so I'm going to do certain things with my eating habits and I'm going to do certain things with my exercise habits to get me there. The opposite of that pressure is ease and less struggle. It's usually a little bit more fun. And so I'm all for, having a routine that feels good for your body, and I'm all for setting a goal, and I'm all for transforming yourself if that's what you want to do. But it's about looking at where we're making things harder for ourselves. So many things in life are actually pretty easy, and we just make them harder. Like exercise, by all means, it's tough, it's challenging. I'm not saying that lifting weights and exercise and running and it's not challenging. Of course, it's challenging on the body. I mean, amazing athletes and Olympians out there. But technically, movement is easy. Our bodies were made to move. We can just get up and move our body, just dance around, take a walk, whatever it is. But we make it harder by overthinking it, giving ourselves deadlines, and not taking rest when we need it. And so I just want to say that you don't need to use fear to stay motivated as you let go of the diet mentality around fitness and movement for yourself. You don't have to scare yourself with, if I stop, I'll never start again. Or if I don't work out today, I'll lose all my progress, like I've thought many a times. Because that kind of thinking might push you temporarily, but it often leads to you burning out. And it can also lead to injury from exercising when tired. So instead, I recommend trying curiosity instead of control. You could ask, what might feel good right now? What would energize me or help me feel connected to my body today? Instead of fear, you can let joy and self-care be your motivators. You can also remind yourself that you're not behind when you have setbacks, that you're on a lifelong path, and part of that path included this setback. And the most sustainable motivation comes from love, not pressure. In the end, it's about taking that pressure off, allowing rest when you need it, and not judging yourself when you don't show up the way you planned. It's not that we don't want to look at that and evaluate why so it doesn't become a habit, but it's important to not hyper judge yourself when you needed a day off unplanned. Because rest doesn't mean quitting. It's not falling off the wagon. It's just part of the cycle. I like to think of rest like winter. Everything looks still, but growth is happening under the surface. You just can't see it. And so just like with winter, rest for us is our body restoring energy and healing and reconnecting after working out and movement. So no matter what your setback was, when you're ready to start again, I recommend starting small. Don't just jump right back into the routine where you left off, because you might need to regain strength or stamina. Instead, focus on tiny wins, little things like a short 5-minute stretch or going for a walk. You could also try a mantra if you find that you're in your head a lot about what's going on and judging yourself. You could say things like, I'm not behind. I'm exactly where I need to be or where I'm meant to be. You can also say things like forward is forward, even when it's slow. Because that's true. We want things to happen faster than they do, but things are still happening even if it's slow. So if you've had a setback, take a nice deep breath in. You're still experimenting, you're still showing up for yourself, and most importantly, you're still allowed to feel good in the body you have, right here and right now. I'll leave you with this question for your experiment. What's one kind thing you can do for your body today? It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be kind. Until next time, be kind and be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.